All right, that looks good. I think we're finally live with sound. Some days the technology is beautiful. Other days it can have a glitch. So let's just move on. On with the show. I'm sorry for the delay. I started this live stream earlier, didn't have sound, lost the people who were on. Thank you so much for coming live to those folks who showed live. Really appreciate it. If you're catching the replay now, thank you. If you joined this stream now, thank you. On with the show, as I said before. Let's go. I am Carolyn Cole. I am your show host for this show, Is It Me or My Business? This is a weekly live show I'm doing for the summer months, along with my other live show, Winning in Business Live, every Tuesday at high noon Eastern Standard Time, right here on this channel. And this show, without tech glitches, is every Thursday at noon EST, right here. Get settled here. Get settled. All right. I am Carolyn Cole, a global executive and business consultant. I work with C-suite executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals. For nearly 2 decades, I was a Fortune 100 and Fortune 200 senior company trial attorney. Now I make the case on behalf of your business and professional dreams, happiness too. My business is boomtank.com. I'm the founder of boomtank.com. And Boomtank is where business success and happiness meet. You can check out my podcast as well. That's my third show that goes all year long. That is the Boom Tank Business Show. The podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Please check that out. Kimberlyn, thank you for jumping back in. Big tech issues, but we are set now. And thanks for letting me know about the sound. I appreciate that. That's the podcast. That's my title. That's my company. Please visit boomtank.com. You can see everything that I offer in my coaching and consulting, as well as my courses. And to give you a high level view of that, I offer 3 signature programs. Now, that said, I did offer incredibly successful workshops in October, November, December, January, and February. In March, April, May, and part of June, I still ran them, but on a limited basis as I revamped and evolved my brand, took everything with me and built it out. The programs, the courses, the show, made everything consistent with the growth. It all got bigger fast. And now I have the bigger courses. So I took time to rebrand that piece and do all of that work. So now the workshops are coming back, and I'm going to be running workshops for the summer months. So stay tuned for those. And I'm doing some joint ventures that are pretty exciting as well. You'll be hearing about those in the coming weeks, maybe even as soon as next week. So if you're interested in working with me, please come work with me. Send me a PM. I'll put you on a list. We'll talk about what you need and where you would fit in those programs. Pretty cool stuff. So here's the synopsis of the 3, just to let you know. I work with those folks I told you I work about, and I work with struggling business owners. If you're looking to go to that next level in your business wise, we look at your structure, your confident messaging, your packaging, get your brand straight, your message straight, your pricing, so you can make a great living and come out of struggle into profitability. The next thing is claim your personal power brand, your new personal power brand. You need this no matter what you do, whether it's in business, your life, or your profession. You have to show up strong and big, have a clear message, and have everyone understand what it is you do. And that program that I offer includes professional public speaking, professional talk creation, your own show creation, lots of things packed into that. And the last one is for my busy executives and professionals who simply want to stay in their career, but want a life redesign, more joy, more fulfillment, more happiness. So I have a life redesign with happiness in mind for those people. So that's it. That's what I offer. And come join me. It's a lot of fun. And my clients make amazing strides very fast. Now, all of that said, I'm going to have to leave this broadcast sooner. So I've got to go through this material quickly because I did have the tech delay, and I've got appointments on the other side of this. So let's go. David Ralph, thank you so much for joining. Yay. Larissa, thank you for joining. Kimberlyn is here. I can't see who else is here, but thank you for joining live. Let's talk about, I have 3 topics that I address in this episode. Is it me or my business? And the idea is if you have questions, you can give them to me ahead of time. If you have questions during the broadcast, please ask them. I'll answer them live. If you on the replay have questions after, please leave your question in the comments. I answer everyone. I respond to everybody and fast. I'll take care of you. Maybe not today because I've got a little delay, but I will definitely get back to you in the next few hours. Here we go. The first question for today, and it's really not a question. It's really a statement about where you go now. And I'm going to lead with the question, when will you? And I'm doing a graphic and a short video on this tomorrow. So this falls in the whole ambit of when will you? What did I learn this week? Number one, topic one. What did I learn this week from a multi-millionaire businesswoman who is also a TV celebrity? And when I say multi-million dollars, she sold of her own products between $40 and $60 million of her own product, not even talking about products with others. She is a leading fitness expert, a leading TV celebrity, a leading entrepreneur, a leading speaker, and that is Riley Forbes. Riley. I'm just with this glitch. I'm glitching. It's me that's glitching now. So her name is Forbes Riley. She is fantastic. And you will remember her with different home fitness gyms and things like that over the decades, selling them on TV and other products as well. So she's a renowned person. And just so you get a background behind her, it's this. When she was growing up, she was overweight. She had braces for years and years and years, frizzy hair, shy, bullied, the whole thing. And when she looks at herself back in her mind's eye at that person and who she is now, there is a whole lot of stuff in between those 2 points. And I really want to focus on that for you, for your business growth, for your personal growth, your professional growth. It's where do you see yourself next in your greatest form? And I talk about this a lot. She saw herself being greater and different and bigger and having just success and fighting back against everything that was holding her captive. Her self-esteem, her weight, her frizzy hair, her complexion, her braces, everything. And when she got to a certain age in high school, things got even rougher. She was still bullied. Her father stuck his hand in a printing press by accident and wound up staying in the hospital for the next 3 years. Lots of financial hardship, lots of emotional hardship, lots of her digging deep and hanging on with her family. And as it turned out, she got in her soul that she was going to lose weight and shape up. And it really comes to that sometimes where we make a decision, we're just going to be better. We're just going to be better. We're going to be greater. And we're not going to ask for permission. We're just going to change. And whoever accepts it, accepts it. Who doesn't, doesn't. But as long as we are raising our standards and increasing who we are in a great way and offering better service and better value and more help and legitimate things to the planet, who can complain with that? Who can complain about that? Now, there are people who will, and maybe people will hold you back for a whole myriad of reasons. We don't have to touch on it. So let's stay positive. It doesn't matter. Don't ask for permission. Keep going along your path and growing. So when I was doing this radio interview yesterday, and it was her interview of me, and I was very honored to be on her show because Forbes has interviewed the Rolling Stones, Van Halen, Steely Dan, other luminaries, fitness luminaries, business luminaries. She has her own solo episodes. She has done it all. And this is her radio network in her studio in her home. So it's a really big thing that happened. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very happy and honored to have been on her show. And it's a global show, which is great. Now, in between breaks, she has a radio producer, which is really, really cool. And the radio producer would say, all right, we're now cold. You know, you can talk, do what you're going to do. And you can hear him playing commercials in the background because she has big sponsors for her show, which is really, really cool too. And he was like 20 seconds till showtime again, 10 seconds till showtime, the countdown. So we had these breaks when I was doing this interview. It was very professional, very fun. And I asked her in one of them, I said, how do you, Forbes, define your success? What has been the number one thing that has made you successful? And without hesitation, she said this. It was really interesting. She said, I actually have the answer to that printed on a card, and I carry those cards with me. And when there's somebody out there who needs to see my card with this thing written on it, I hand it to them. How powerful is that? Now, bear in mind, Forbes does health, fitness, beauty, business, and life advice. She's got a whole Forbes Factor boot camp where you reinvent yourself, the same kinds of things I do, but on a more comprehensive scale with the fitness put into it, those kinds of things. So the answer was, on the card is written what I've just discussed with you. Stop asking for permission. That's what she hands people. Single-handedly, hands down, that is what she says. That was the factor. That was the big thing that led to success in her business, led to success in her life, led to her global success. And today, to her success. She is still not asking permission. She still does exactly what she's called to do, exactly what she has a vision for, detached from the outcome. Some things have worked amazingly well. She's made tens of millions of dollars. Other things, she pivoted and piloted and launched it again. So that's what I passed to you from her. It's just that digging deep and trying again and doing it without permission. So one of the things I do in my life is when I'm up against something and I'm going to the next level, and these days it seems like I'm going there consistently, because the higher you go in terms of what it is you envision for yourself and you actually show up for it, opportunity starts coming to you in ways you can't imagine. I promise you, if you put in the work and keep putting yourself out there and fully show up, and I help you with things like that, fully show up in a professional way, in a way you're called to really help people and add value, opportunities come. Doors really do open. It's not just for everybody else. It's not just for me talking to you right now. It's for you. Opportunity will open for you if you just show up and start unleashing all of your potential and stop asking for permission. Because frankly, nobody's going to give it. Number one, they're not in the business of giving permission. Nobody's raised with that job of you're a permission giver. People do it all the time. They withhold stuff, but it's not how we talk. And really, don't ask for permission ever for business success from somebody who's never had a business or had business success. Don't ask for relationship advice from people who've never had great relationships. Don't ask for life reinvention and ideas and big advice on living and changing things from people who've never done it. That's not where you need to go. And in the meantime, till you find those people, do it without apology. Go live your life without permission. Yes, we need to joint venture. Yes, we need to partner. Yes, we need other people. I'm joint venturing and partnering with people even as we speak. Exciting things coming. A team approach. I love being part of a team, but I'm also self-reliant. And I also know the biggest part about being self-reliant is not asking permission. And that's difficult because we are raised to ask permission. We are raised to do things like that, to always ask permission when we're smaller. Can we use the restroom? Can we do this? Can we do that? Then you go into teenage years. You still don't want to ask permission, but you still need to. Into adulthood. Now you're into jobs and careers. Can I do this with a project? Can I do that? We are conditioned to ask for permission. Be conscious of that. Break that conditioning and ask that magical question, when am I going to do that? Which leads to topic number 2 of our show today. Topic number 2 is, how do you start your business or life reinvention for real success and happiness? Now, the exercise I do, and I want you to do it, and let's take it one step further. It's, I want you to identify right now on this call something that you absolutely know will move the needle in your business, your life, your career, your profession, whatever it is. You know, if you do this thing that you've been putting off, you've been procrastinating, fear-based, whatever it is, been putting it off, resources, whatever this thing is, if you do this thing, you know it will move the needle in one of those categories that you need to move the needle in. I want you to write that down on a sheet of paper. Write it down. And now ask yourself, when will I? Get concrete about it. Have a discussion. Be honest with yourself. So much progress in life can be had if we would just stop for a nanosecond even and be honest with ourselves. Be honest. You know this thing will move the needle in your business. When are you going to do it? And write down, commit to a time. Don't commit to a time far off. If you can accomplish it by next week this time, do it. Sooner, do it. You need a little more time, do it. But put a date on a date certain, because here's what happens. The longer you put it off, and the science is supports this, the longer you put something off that you need to do, it increases the likelihood you will never do it. For a lot of neuroscience is involved, a lot of behavioral issues are involved. You actually compound the difficulty in achieving something scientifically, biologically, neurologically, the longer you put it off. But right now, let's say you put it off for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, doesn't matter, because right now you're taking a different approach to it. So right now is your fresh start right now. So what I want you to do is write down right now that thing you need to move the needle. Personally, professionally, business, whatever it is, write it down. And then put the question, when will I? Write down your answer and commit to it. At some point, you're going to have to commit to it. At some point, you're going to have to trust a process that is different than the process you've been using until now that hasn't gotten you the results you want. You have to trust in something. So trust in me in this moment, in this exercise, trust in yourself and do it. That's it. So that's the piece to share. Now, I put a graphic up today and I'm doing a short video around it with this topic number 2, which is how do you start the reinvention? Really start it. The first place, and it's in line with what Forbes said, what she said about don't ask for permission. It's a little bit more pointed than that. And it's because I'm doing something different with it. Her point is crystal clear. I don't want to say it's not, it's crystal clear and it makes a lot of sense and it works. It's huge. So hang on to that. My point is this, that you should always strive to have 2 birthdays in your lifetime, at least 2, and maybe more than 2. The day you're born and the day you decide not to give a flying zebra. And I really mean that. The day you decide not to give a flying zebra. And that's so important because that's the day you really grow up. That's the day you say, you know what? I am me on this earth. I recognize my time on this earth. TikTok, it's limited, and I'm going to do what I'm called to do. Always care about who you really are, your true message, your true mission on this planet, who you're supposed to be helping, and the causes that matter to you. Always care about the things that matter. Do not give a flying zebra to the negative noise, the chatter out there, people's small opinions and small minds because they haven't hit their evolution yet. We always hope that they'll hit that and grow bigger and be kinder, more supportive, but let them go off and do what it is they have to do. You focus on you. And the more you adopt this attitude of not giving a flying zebra, the more opportunity comes to you as well. Because people and opportunity follow energy, they follow integrity, they follow boldness. And the more bold you are, the stronger you are in not giving a flying zebra about the noise and joining in it and going small, the bigger you'll get, the faster you'll get, and the more success you'll have. I last week had the blessing to be in New York because I'm professionally producing my courses because they're going to the next level for the next number of years. It's a long play, as I said in a live stream last week. Here's the deal. The people I was with, they're multimillionaires and they are really big deals in the media world. They know the media icons. They've been involved in big shows. They've been really involved in big networks, that kind of thing. And I had a chance to ask them. I asked them, what is it about that top talent that gets there, that really gets there, that separates? And it's really not being super intellectual. It's not being super entertaining. It's not being super good looking. It's none of those things. It is the originality they bring. They have the courage to be themselves, and they have the courage to not care. They do not care. It's Forbes' point about don't ask permission. It's my point about don't give a flying zebra. It's their point about not caring about all this other noise and stuff. Care about you getting yourself out there in a big way, being honest, being bold, being out there with your message. It transforms everything. It transforms you. It transforms your life, your business, your career. It transforms it all when you step into that greatness. There's too much playing small, too much training around playing small, and too much, frankly, online of people supporting average and supporting small and supporting just the thing here or there, instead of really drilling in, raising those standards and going for it. And to that point, we go to number 3. And I talked about this book last week. I'm going to talk about it again next week because I like this book taken in chunks because it's dense. There's so much great stuff here. It's The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And so, Jeff Olson has ties to Darren Hardy of Success Magazine. And all of this thinking is so beautifully packaged because The Slight Edge really speaks to this point in your life, your business, your career, especially in business, that, we always think that the superstars are super, super extra. No, not really. I can look at all of you here on the stream now watching, and I can say that you have amazing talents, you have amazing presence, and you can do massive things. The only difference between you and the other people doing it is that they're doing it on a bigger scale. So I'm asking you to do that as well. So with The Slight Edge, here's a piece that I want, and it's kind of heavy, but it's a great piece. And then we're going to conclude this out because I've got to get running. Blame and responsibility. This is on page 100 of the book. A man, I'm going to put or a woman, a man or woman can fail many times, but he or she isn't a failure until he begins to blame somebody else. That's by John Burroughs. I also say, and this is a fortune cookie I keep on my desk, that you're not a failure until you quit the very thing you know you should still be pursuing, that you know you should still be pursuing. So here's what Jeff says about this piece of the book. If you want to measure where you are, if you want to know whether you are on the success curve or on the failure curve, or if you want to assess anyone else and determine which curve they're on, anyone else, even your clients, here's how. There is one attitude, one state of mind, which overwhelmingly predominates either side of the curve. Do you know what that is? Think about it. I think you do. All right. The predominant state of mind displayed by those people on the failure curve is blame. The predominant state of mind displayed by those people on the success curve is responsibility. All right. So you have blame and responsibility. You have blame and self-reliance. You have blame and accepting responsibility for your own personal growth, showing up fully and putting yourself out in the world in the biggest, greatest form of you. And it's a process, but doing that. All right. And he has a graph, but I'm going to skip the graph right now. People on the success curve live a life of responsibility. They take full responsibility for who they are, where they are, and everything that happens to them. Taking responsibility liberates you. In fact, it is perhaps the single most liberating thing there is. And when Riley talks about, when Forbes talks about not asking permission, and I talk about not giving a flying zebra about things that don't matter, and Jeff is talking about taking responsibility. All of those concepts go to the core of freedom, because when you are free and you freely unleash, that's when the magic happens and the success happens, because now you're in your most powerful state. And in your most powerful state, you have momentum, you have success. There's nothing to stop you in your most powerful state except you. And when you are in your most powerful state, that is where you find your biggest success. Taking responsibility liberates you, and then he talks about it being liberating, the most liberating thing you can do, even when it hurts, even when it doesn't seem fair. When you take responsibility, when you don't blame others and circumstances, fate, or chance, you keep your power. When you do blame those things, you give away your power. When you take and retain full responsibility, even when others are wrong or the situation is genuinely unfair, you keep your life's reins in your own hands. Negative and difficult things happen to all of us. Most of the times, we're not even responsible directly for them happening to us. And that's really nice he acknowledges that, because some people think you bring it to you. Don't worry about that. Just know things happen to you that don't always appear of your making. And we can think of lots of situations where bad things have happened to great people and we know it wasn't their fault. So it's how we react, how we view those circumstances and conditions that makes the difference between success and failure. And that is completely within our control. So it's completely within your control if you are going to go to a failure mindset or success mindset, and it's all about blame. So right now, gauge yourself. How is your blame-o-meter? If you're heavy on the blame end of things, dial it back. That is the first key to you taking responsibility and becoming more successful. Dial back your blame. If you don't blame, if you take responsibility, congratulations. You are on your way. Superstar. The 5%ers who dwell on the upper curve. Now, remember, he's saying this is the 5%. I'm not sure of the exact math of that, but it's rare. And the thing that I'm committed to on the planet is to have that 5% increase to a lot more people, because before people leave the planet, no regrets. Remember, no regrets is not just a powerful decision. It's a lifestyle. Live it. All right. The 5%ers who dwell on the upper curve know there are no excuses. They understand and accept the fact that nobody can do it to them and nobody can do it for them. They live by the axiom, if it's going to be, it's up to me. They set their own standards and their standards are high. So when you look at truly successful people, I want you to understand something. It wasn't the intellect, the looks, the extra funny, extra this, extra that got them there. We know plenty of talent who never makes it there, who never makes it out of the gate. They never make it out of the gate because their standards are too low. They accept average. They accept being treated in an average way. They accept average for themselves. They treat themselves in an average or below average way. The thing that separates truly successful people from not is they raise their standards. And we've heard that before from Tony Robbins and lots of people, but truly the standards are high. And even before Tony walked the face of the earth, the greatest titans in history, the greatest leaders, all of the greatest people that we look up to, they had high standards of performance. They had high standards of delivery. They had high standards for their future and their expectations of what they could achieve on the planet. They thought high of themselves in not an ego way necessarily I say, not in an ego way, but in a way that propelled them forward. You have to think well of yourself and good of yourself and great of yourself to get there. And there's no reason not to, because it's not tied up with ego. We're not talking vanity. We're talking success. We're talking doing something with your life to really move the needle on the planet and for you as well. They set their own standards, and standards are high. They realize that their only limitations are self-imposed. They understand that it is not what happens to them that's important, but how they respond to what happens that makes the difference between their failure and success. People on the failure curve are masters of blame. They blame everyone and everything, the economy, the government, the oil crisis, the weather, their neighbors, the rich, the poor, the young, the old, the kids, parents, their boss, their coworkers, their employees, life itself. The inhabitants of the lower curves are life's victims, the great mass of done-tos. Everything gets done to them. The only way these folks can really make sense out of life is to conclude life is screwy and you die. So if you have people in your life like that, don't have them in your life. Seriously, find a way to either limit contact dramatically or just go make new friends. When you change, you will attract people that will respond to that positive change and that positive energy. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I think we're almost done with this. Don't complain about what you allow. I love this in the book. Do not complain about what you allow. That's a big way to dial back the blame-o-meter. The people on the upper half of the curve are the cause of what happens in their lives. That's how they see it. Are you your own cause? And it's interesting because Forbes also has a saying that we are the sum of the obstacles we overcome. So if self-reliance is an obstacle for you, showing up is an obstacle for you, blaming yourself for so much is an obstacle for you, or accepting others' poor treatment of you or non-support of you is an obstacle, when you transform that, you become the sum of the obstacles you overcome. She says time and again, I say we're the sum of our decisions, good and bad. She's even more positive and powerful and direct by saying you will be the sum of the obstacles that you overcome. Every successful person on planet Earth in the past, now, and in the future will overcome obstacles. Don't think it's you. Don't think that you have it so much worse than anybody else. There are tons of people who have it worse than you could ever dream of. Me, worse than I could ever dream of. And they have risen to greatness. You can too. There is an exercise he has in the book, and we are going to save that for next time. So I don't see any questions here now. I know I lost other people. Thank you, Kimberlyn. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for hanging in and watching. Thank you, David. Thank you, Larissa. Thank you, everyone else who appeared. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the tech issues. I think they're remedied once again. So you can't worry about stuff like that. You go on with the show, carry on. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. Please share this live stream out. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, if you know somebody who will really take it to heart and it can help them, please share it out. Please like my business page. It is /the Boom Tank on Facebook.com. I'm building out my business page. It's ghost town for most people, but you know what? You can't be short-sighted. You got to take the short-term pain for the long-term gain and have a platform where more than 5,000 friends and other people can join you in the future. Sometimes I'll be live streaming off the personal page. I may do that again soon. We'll see. But I'm committed to doing a lot on my business page, and I'm encouraging you to do that too if you are in business. Again, please check out boomtank.com. Subscribe to my email list. That would be terrific. I've got a great audio training. It's very short. It's a super success meditation. It's audio, and another audio download. Very simple, very fast. Top life and business lessons from some of my guest experts, my top guest experts on the Boom Tank Business Show, which is my podcast. So thank you once again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I want you to believe something great is going to happen to you today, because it is. It's in the works. As long as you think that way, it's coming towards you, and believe you are deserving to have it all, because you can. Thank you for tuning in for this one. I'll see you right here next week. I appreciate it. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. I respond to everyone. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to share this. Be sure to like my business page, and we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of the week and weekend. See you next time.